Hello students, welcome to online video lecture series of Artificial Intelligence and Intelligent System provided by St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management affiliated to Maharishi Dayanand University, Rohtak, Haryana, approved by Government of India, New Delhi, AICTE. I am Ms. Pritishri Patnaik, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science Engineering. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the Turing Test. What is the required of Turing Test when we say about in the field of artificial intelligence? As per the syllabus curriculum, it is available with the Unit 1 syllabus. And who is the scientist has proposed this test to be necessary when we talk about an intelligent system, or like say the upcoming recent innovations about the chatbots and phenomena of applicable with the Turing test is going to be fruitful to have a clear picture that how a machine can think like a human being. When we are discussing about artificial intelligence, we know that the question comes to mind that how an intelligent system can have a good thinking capability as comparable to a human world. But also will be come across with various parameters and the questionnaire series that already been done with many different tests, like say Marcus test is also available, Loic test 2.0 is also available, then reverse Turing test is also available. And what is the fruitful of this study that will be helpful for today's programmer or like today's research oriented researchers in the field of Turing test and also its application in the field of artificial intelligence and the intelligent system. So let's begin with today's class. So I think it is more visible right now. When I say about the Turing test, it is by the name Turing, it's come with the given by the British scientist, computer scientist in the year of 1950. His complete name is Alan Turing. Alan is the scientist who has proposed this theory in the research paper, like when he was been addressing to a unit, and this was so fruitfully been done that a machine can think like a human being or not. For the Babel's application, when we come across with the captcha options and to find out is there any human stupidity or like any other things. So let's have a definition for this. In 1950, Alan Turing introduced a test which is check whether a machine can think like a human being or not. This test is mostly named after him, that is the Turing test. In this test, Alan Turing, the scientist, proposed that computer can say to be intelligent if if it can be mimic human response under this specific condition. Turing test was introduced by the Alan Turing in 1950, where he was been doing his research work for a computational machinery into the intelligence body, and comes in the part of Turing machines also, as we have already studied in the part of talk, and which will be considered and making more fruitful to come across with the like a machine can think or not. Like whenever we say that to a human being, wherever how far the work has to be allotted to a human being, before approaching to the work, the human being has a perception to doing the work, and with a planning strategy will come across with the how the planning is been done in AI also. In some of the in video lecture, it is also given down the lesson planners that planning exactly human being has its own brain of thinking to do any kind of a task. So rather we'll be doing conducting a test by which will be come across that how this Alan test been done. So basically in this test, Turing proposed that like the computer can also have a memory to think like a human being, and also said that it is an intelligent body, it can be mimic human response under this specific condition. Turing test was introduced by him in 1950 and published through a research paper where a computation machine and the intelligent which has to be questionnaire in the mind that can a machine think. So basically this is been done with the setup which is shown in this figure. Three rooms can be taken down for this kind of a test. In one portion of that, we have been allotted with the player 1, which is a computational device, like say a computer system will be having a player 1. We have one more portion, player will be associated with us, that is the player B will be the human responder. Also the interrogator, that is the player C, the interrogator is also belonging to human family only. The Turing test is basically a part of like the party game, which is having the imitation game with some modification. Mostly in this game, the player 1 is a computer and another 2 players are the human being, and the third player will be considered as the human interrogator, who is giving the isolated from these two rooms. Okay, and time to time when the interrogator is putting questionnaires to this two player and getting the fruitful answers, upon that the test scenario can be executed, considering the player 1 is the computer and player B will the human being and player C is the interrogator. The interrogator is the aware that one of the machine, but he need to identify this interrogator. It's not visible whether the player 1 has been answering or player B has been answering to her. It is only the part the interrogator need to give the identification, is aware that one of the machine is going to be identified. He needs to identify on which criteria the questions that will be the and the response have been collected. And coming to the next part, the conversation of all the players is been done by a keyword options only. Through the keyboard only they will be replying all the answers. So the result would be depend upon the machine availability or like the words or the speaking criteria or the speeches or the word formations that have been used to deliver the answer. The test result does not only depend upon the correct answer, but also it is closely response to the human answer. Like the computer has permitted to do something possible to force a wrong indication by the interrogator, definitely the interrogator will be identified to judge like the answer has been given down by a human intelligent body or like it has been answering through a robot or like any other intelligent agent. Let's say initially when the interrogator has been putting a question to the player 1, are you a computer, then it comes across with no answer. Then interrogator can put such a question like multiplication of such a too large number. So of course if the same question has been given down to player B, it will taking a too long time to be paused. Long pause and giving a wrong answer by the interrogator player 1, that can be also the part how it is going to be realized that the answer has been passed by the player B or like it has been passed on by player A. In this game, if the interrogator would not be able to identify which is the machine, which is and which is the human being, this computer pressed the test successfully, and the machine is said to be intelligent and think like a human being also. In 1991, in the New York, a businessman, that is the Hugh, announced that the prize competition of ₹1 crore with the computer Turing test, which is also fruitful that. And coming down with the latest technology, we come across with various chatbot attempts to chatbots are also developed with the utility of using the part of artificial intelligence and intelligence system. These chatbots are attempted for the part of Turing test. The Elysia, that is the natural language processing computer program, which is created by the Joseph Birmingham. It is also created to demonstrate the ability of communication between a human machine and a human being. It was one of the most first chatbot which was introduced, which will be attempting all the basic criteria of a Turing test and also helpful for the new generation researchers and scientists that to utilize the structure of natural language processing. See, whenever we are studying about in the field of artificial intelligence or the intelligent system, the NLP system is very important, because by which a human being communicating to another human being through a language, it is a part. But when we say about the same human being when interacting to a machine, there has to be a predefined language, that is the nature of language processing by which we are interacting to the device. So once we have a strong NLP system with us, we could be attempt more number of tests to that, and the result and the task which is given down to any of a robot or an intelligent body to execute and the help to the human being can be fruitful. Like the two-way communication between the intelligent body and about to a robot can be fruitfully understand that through the natural language processing only, because the way human being is interacting to a machine and the way machine is also interacting and converting the knowledge that is acquired by a human being is very important. Because when we say about artificial intelligence or when we say about intelligent body or like a machine are to be intelligent, we are making the machine to be intelligent to make our system smoother or like to make a work to be done in a good way, because it is not having its own brain. The intelligent portions which is available with the human or with the available by the user, the way the instruction has been provided to them, accordingly only that way they have been processing a result. Perry is also another chatbot which was created by Kenneth in the year of 1972. Perry was designed to stimulate a person with a paranormal schizophrenia, most chronic mental disorder, let me say. This is mostly paranormal schizophrenias are also the recent research techniques where students are also been doing various projects in the field of augmented analysis or semantic generations, because paranormal activities is very difficult to identify even with the schizophrenias. This is also a chronic mental disorder, like when human beings unable to understand the reality of the world. It is also sometimes it come across with such a situation that it will be describing that Elysia through the attitude or like the natural processing system developed with the help of a NLP to an intelligent body, and sometimes the schizophrenia patient is not able to rectify who is the reality one, that he always try to feel that somebody been existing in the realistic world, whether that person is real or alias. That is also a bigger dilemma, chronic mental disorders. And also this type of devices are very fruitful when we talk about the medical diagnosis, since it is also used in the year of 1970, and it also recently come across with many medical universities are research are still going on to develop such kind of chatbots that are help with the fruitful variations comes under with the Turing test since last 1970 to till this 2020 era. Then using Gostin, that is also a chatbot developed by the St. Petersburg in the year of 2001. This chatbot is completed various number of Turing tests in this 2012. At the event of Gottsman were got the competitions for the largest ever Turing test contestant, which is conveyed that 29% of the judge that are human, and also comes a part that 13 years old boy is to be virtual. When we are come across with the law and the part of the with cyber crime departments are also using these all techniques to identify such a criminal cases that are been fruitfully giving the good judgmental results in the field of law and crime world. So this is one of the most advantageous thing that we come across with this Turing test. Then we have one more part, that is Chinese room argument. There are many philosophers who are still disagree that a complete concept of artificial intelligence, because every scientist they have their own strategy planning to give the definition for the part of artificial intelligence. Moreover, in the year of 1980, when we say John Searle presented Chinese room through the experiment in the paper mind, brains and program. This is all together by which we can develop the part of artificial intelligence, which is against the validity for the Turing test too. According to his argument, programming a computer make the to understand, but it will not produce a real understanding language or consequences in a computer. So this is mostly a research oriented discussion which was done by the Chinese room argumented like same way in the part of Turing test. He argued with the machine like Elysia and the Perry could be easily pass on the Turing test but manipulate many keywords and symbolic structure in the part of compilers, but they do not have real understanding of a language when we talk about the NLP system. So it cannot be described more eventually that a system is having its own emotion or like machine is having its own thinking capability. Moreover, we also come across with the various features that in the machine learning part, or the machine has to be passed on with the field of Turing test. The machine or the intelligent body which will be interacting with the field of Turing test must be possessed the very first thing, that is a good natural language processing. The NLP is the required language or the communication between the interrogator and a general human being, like the language of English. We could be easily communicating right now also. Knowledge representation is another part. The store and retrieve information during the test has to be represented with the knowledge base. When we will be we have already come across with the expert designing and the knowledge based in the part lectures also. The knowledge representation is very important, because the knowledge engineers, those who have been working to develop a good expert system with the utility of the intelligent body. So the knowledge we have to restore in such a way that not only for the current generation but also for the upcoming scenario, the knowledge has to be represented in such a way, and the learning process is to be never ending one. And also automated reasoning is required. Reasoning, because when the uncertainty principles have been required, where the start and goal states are also very difficult to solve a complex problem, we approach for a reasoning part. We approach to find out the best possible step to move ahead by which the problem can be sorted out. Also, the machine learning, the machine has to adapt with the new technologies, new advanced technologies to detect and generalize the pattern of data, to analyze through them with the method of machine learning. Various languages are also started by which we can make our machine more intelligent through the making our machine to learn. Like a human being is learning through the environment, through the stimulus, there are different criteria of learning. The same way we will be making our machine to learn with the different generalized pattern that will be fruitful to solve all the human query. Vision for the total Turing test, it is to be recognized with the interrogator actions and the object during the test. And also the motor controller, it is a part, it acts upon the request and response whenever the like the player is putting any of a control system, pressing a enter key, or like texting the answers over there. So motor controller is also a part which is necessary. So this is one of the important topic in the part of artificial intelligence and intelligent system. So I suggest all the students to go through with this video lecture once more, and also go through with the notes that is provided to you. In many university exams you will be come across with the short pattern questions, or like in the definition part or in the short notes, what is a Turing test in the part of artificial intelligence, or how the chatbots are also usable. So briefly you can write this answer for a 5 marks question or for 10 marks question. The notes is sufficient for you. Go through with the books also, like Alan Turing, all his history through the Wikipedia and all, and fruitfully you could be imagine that how far we can make more in the field of artificial intelligence or the intelligent body, by where we can make a system or the intelligent system more imaginative, or like how we can put our emotions to our intelligent system, or how can we make our system more intelligent to us and should have its own thinking power. So thank you for today's lecture.